Resident Evil 4 had a great impact on gaming back when it was released in the early to mid 2000s. It revolutionized the over-the-shoulder genre of action shooters, and it completely reinvented the Resident Evil franchise. That in itself was amazing. Now, here we skip forward so many years later, and the Resident Evil 4 remake was released. And now that gaming has shifted, we're in for a new revolution that really just we're taking advantage of, even though it's existed for a couple of years. And that's console gaming on the go without limitations. Hey, if you're new to this channel, my name's Magnus. I like to talk about old school games that come back to life in remakes and just old school game in general, specifically Shenmue too, because I love that franchise. If you're new here, consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, portable gaming, that's something that has been the norm since like early 80s into the 90s. I mean, you had Nintendo coming out with simple portable players. You had Tiger Direct coming out with miniature games as well. You had Game Boy, you had the Game Gear, and the list goes on and on. In the mid-2000s, Sony decided to enter the portable landscaping too with the PlayStation Portable. Then you had Nintendo constantly releasing portable consoles, just such as the Game Boy Advance, such as the Nintendo DS, and then of course the 3DS. And credit must be given to Nintendo because they revolutionized the industry. Back when portable consoles were really exclusive to their brand and only really played games that were designed for this system, Nintendo seemed to have an idea. And Nintendo's idea was like, you know what, we've been releasing portable consoles and we've been releasing home consoles. Why not combine the two? And when they released the Nintendo Switch, that revolutionized the genre because it made it easier for developers to develop games specifically for one console that does both. On the go, and you could use it as a home console and play it on your TV. And that was a next level revolution, not just for those that are gamers, but also for developers. Developers have always had the challenge of, if they're supporting a brand, if they're supporting a product and a particular brand, and they're tasked with, okay, you created this franchise for the main console, can you do one for the portable? And normally, under those circumstances, what ends up happening is that that portable console's version goes to a B team that either tries to port the full version for some reason, and usually that happens with older games coming in, or they can create a different version for the portable console so that it's inexpensive to make because the return on that investment is usually not expected to get a large base. And if it is, such as the Nintendo DS, which had a huge install base, you have to dumb it down anyway because the portable consoles are normally not as strong as the home console counterpart. Take Uncharted Golden Abyss, which I'm probably about to die right now. But Uncharted Golden Abyss never came out for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, or anything like that. It just came out for the PlayStation Vita, and it was specifically developed for the PlayStation Vita because a lot of the controls are touchscreen, so it would be hard to port it to a regular console. Now, the graphics were great, but much more limited when compared to their home console counterpart. And the Vita, as you know, wasn't as successful as Sony would have liked. Plus, they didn't really push that marketing as much as they possibly could with that. So why would a developer want to make games for a portable system when they're not going to get their return on investment? And that's where current times have changed. Now let's jump up to Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, Resident Evil 4 Remake was recently released. Now, this is well into the Steamdeck, and I'm going to use the Steamdeck as kind of a talking point for this video. It was released for PC, and it was released for Xbox and PlayStation, of course. Now, the PC version is designed to work with a vast number of computers. That's normally how the PC market is. When you're releasing a game on a PC, you have to make it customizable because not everyone has the same video card, CPU, RAM, or anything. So software is released for PC through the Steam platform as well as other platforms, but many gamers use the Steam platform to download their games because it manages distribution of these games pretty well, and it records saves online, and it has a ton of features that are beneficial to gamers. Now, when releasing a game on the PC platform, developers try to make it as adjustable to whatever type of computer that you might have, so that you get a largest install base as possible. But another reason why it's cheap to release on PC as well is that you don't have to create discs or anything for PCs anymore. You just release it digitally and anyone can download it to their heart's content, and there's never ever a condition where a game is sold out. With that being said, that allows manufacturers to develop their own type of PCs that can actually work with games, like gaming PCs or gaming laptops. But a few years ago, manufacturers decided to make portable gaming PCs a thing. You know, just a device that has controls and a screen so that you can play on there. But the price of those has been astronomical, some of them over $1,000, because you do need very expensive equipment in that small portable console to be able to play most games. That's until Steam entered the room. Because when Steam released their Steamdeck, which is a portable computer that runs on Linux rather than Windows, and that keeps the licenses down, but it does a great job at working with Windows install files for the games to be able to play the games that are PC games on a Linux system using Proton and of course their Steam operating system. Now I know I said a lot of mumbo jumbo, but basically what I'm telling you is the future is now. You now have devices such as the Steam Deck that allow you to play games that are designed for PC, portable. Now what that means is you can play full console games on the go, just like on a computer. And that really is the next level. And Resident Evil 4, a game that was released when the Steam Deck was already out, runs flawlessly on this thing. And now I'm showing you shots, but I'm also showing you stuff here. Real time, as I speak, it runs like butter. Now the battery life isn't great on this thing, but the point is that you can play games portably without the developers having to develop a specific version for portable console. And you know what that means, right? Systems like these, systems that were specifically designed for their own proprietary software on their portable software, and developers had to develop for these things, those days are gone. And that's why I specifically believe you'll never see a Sony portable console or even a Nintendo portable console that isn't their main console ever again. Now that's a lot of benefits that you have, being able to take a lot of these on the go. But what are the drawbacks? Well, when you're using a portable console like this versus one of the old school ones that you used to buy back in the day, what you're really going to notice is that you're going to suffer in battery life. Back then, these portable consoles would last 5 hours for a game, and people complained that that wasn't long enough. But when you compare it to this, which like a AAA game that has a lot of graphics will probably last you an hour and a half, and you do have the ability to tune down the settings, that's a vastly different experience, because now you won't be able to play as long, especially if you're playing one of the intense AAA games that you want to play. You won't be able to do that. And the other problem too, when you have PC games that come to these portable consoles, is that not all of them are going to run. Now, if it's proprietary software on a proprietary system, you can pretty much guess that 100% of the games are going to run or wouldn't have been released. But unfortunately, when you have these consoles, you are not going to have the ability to have all of them run, because you're probably going to run into a few bugs, since all these games are designed for PCs first, not these portable systems. But to flip that and to really talk about what's better and that makes all of that standable, is that there are thousands of games that do work on this system already. And as PCs develop and as games develop and come out new, there's less of a chance, at least for the long term, that your system won't run a game. And it'll always be backwards compatible with even the older games, because they kind of run on the same type of engine, which is a PC. Whereas consoles, once that generation's over and it skips to the next generation, backwards compatibility is up to, of course, the developers and up to the brand names that own the system that you're buying, of course. But those are the drawbacks, and those are some of the benefits that you get when you do something like that, such as having one of these portable consoles and playing it. Now, what does that mean for Nintendo? Nintendo is a developer that came up with the wonderful idea of doing that. But Nintendo is also kind of lacking behind, because the Switch is showing its age at this point. And when you have competition here, which Steam Deck isn't really direct competition for the Switch, completely separate. But when you show a game that's running on the Switch and you compare it to that of a Steam Deck version of a game, because it's PC and it's releasing on its hardware, you notice that Nintendo's only advantage now is its first-party franchises. That's it. Because you can almost do everything that you do on the Switch on this, aside from pull apart the controls themselves. Nintendo, they're coming for you. So why would you want to ever buy a portable gaming device at this point? Aside from everybody having a phone and this, I don't see that there's any reason. And Resident Evil 4 proves that new games can come out and you can play them and they'll look amazing. And that's why the future is looking bright for portable gaming. Now, those were just some random thoughts that I had in my head about the whole gaming industry itself, and specifically the portable gaming industry. But it's nothing new, and you guys probably knew that. But if you got any comments and where you think the portable gaming industry is heading in the future, do you think that Sony and Microsoft will kind of ditch their consoles next generation and focus more on portable gaming? Or do you think that they're done and they're just going to continue to focus on console-only experiences and forego what Nintendo tried to do on their end? Or what does Nintendo have up their sleeve now that the Nintendo Switch is showing its age? A lot to talk about. Let me know in the comments down below. Please, please, please hit that like button. It would always help this channel out, and we want to grow as usual. And I've been away for a little bit, again, working on projects, but I'm always producing videos because I always want to be there to share my opinion and grow this community. Shenmue 4 is coming in our future. I guarantee that. In any case, you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. See you guys later.